Okay, before I do tell you about user edits, which are types of edits you can design yourself to only allow certain things in fields, I think it's important that I clarify a little bit more about system edits. FilePro's own internal edits I went to the wrong thing. FilePro's own edits. So we're going to define edits, choice 4. And let me use the global table to show them. These are edit tables that are applied to every local file. You can have edits applying to just that particular file profile. In this case, we'll use the global table, which is an edits table full of user edits that have been designed for you by FilePro. They're factory supplied user edits. You can add to this table and put them in, make them global and go anywhere you want, or you can put your own edits into local files, just that only apply to that particular file profile. We're going to go to the edits table that applies to all file profiles. We're going to test some system edits. Do we see any of the system edits here? No. There are no system edits here on this screen. You can't change a system edit. It's supplied by FilePro and it works the way it works. It always will, and you can't change anything about it. System edits don't deal so much with what's allowed in a field, like you see in the N-type edit, a 0-9. That means a range. You can put any single number from 0 to 9 will be allowed in a field. 0, 1, 2, 3, it will not take an A. For instance, if I take a T, I press T for test and I say I want a N-type edit, and I want it for only one character because that's all it'll be good for, I would say put in 1, yes, that's good data. If I put in a 2, test it, yes, 3, 7. But if I try an A, it fails. If I try a B or even a period, won't take a period. How about a dash? No, nothing. Only 0. That's good up to 9. All right. FilePro, however, doesn't talk the system-wide edits are not really involved. It's not so much what's allowed in them. Yes, it does limit things that you put in these fields, but system edits deal more with the type of data. That's why these are called edit types. You don't get to set up a type of data in a user edit. Your user edits are all alphanumeric edits. You cannot design a user edit that allows you to perform math on it. You can't say, well, I want to only take letters and numbers, and I want to be able to multiply this field times another field and get something meaningful. But FilePro has an edit type, a type called a numeric edit, and you can pick any kind of, to start with, you can get a .0 type field. This is the first, probably most important numeric edit. It only accepts integers. It means I don't want anything after the decimal point. Let's test this for 5 characters. Can I take a 1? Sure. Take a 1 and it right justifies it because numbers are right justified. Can I take an 88? Yeah. Can I take all the way up to 99999? Yeah, that's fine. In fact, so there we go. I take a 0. FilePro will even keep a 0 in this field. And it'll let you multiply it and do things with it and whatnot. It's a numeric edit. Obviously will not take an A. It won't take a B. I'm trying to put them in. Let me show you. I'm trying to put them in. It wouldn't even let me type it. I can't type any other character. Can't type a dash. Let me see. If FilePro takes a dash, thinks you might want to put a -1 into this field. FilePro will take a -1. In fact, FilePro will take all the way up to a -9999. That's a legal number in a 5-digit field. So you can go from the lowest possible negative number in a 5-digit field is -99999. All right. Can you put in a number like 9? Well, let's take away that. Let's see if I can put in 999. Sure, I can. FilePro says that's a good number, has no decimal points after it. Okay, now let's test this out for 5 digits and try and put 1.2 in it. What happens? That passes, but FilePro says he's got a .2. I'm going to round that down to a 1. If I put in a 1.3, hit enter. FilePro rounds that down to a 1. If I put in a 1.4, of course, what's going to happen? What about this though? 1.5, and I hit enter. FilePro says, I round 5s up to the next highest number. So anything from 5 up, 1.6, it's going to round to a 2. And it's going to take away the decimal points. Because you've told FilePro that you don't want any decimal points in here. By saying .0, I don't ever want to see a decimal point. Doesn't matter how many you put of them. Let me put this. It's .5. If I put a 1 point, I'll put all ones. 1, 2, 3. Okay, FilePro just truncates to where it should. All right, and Let's go back up here and let's make this now a .2 field. All right, we'll leave it at 5 characters. Very simply, FilePro will say, okay, he always wants, if he can get them, 2 decimal points. So if I put in a 1 and I hit enter, FilePro will supply the 2 decimal points. This is the best field to use for money. When you're calculating actual money, you always want 2 decimal points. We never want extra pennies. FilePro will correctly, or at least with its own convention, which is the standard convention pretty much in GAAP principles around the world, general accounting principles, it will round up. It will always round up. If I put in 1 point, let's put 23, and here I'm going to put a 4. FilePro will leave this as a 1.23. You see? If I put a 1, let's clear the fields. You see what I'm doing? If I put in a 1.25, of course, FilePro won't touch that. That's a fine number. If I put in a 1.251, FilePro won't touch that, but it will round it down. Let's put in this 1.25, and I'll put in a 6. What's FilePro going to do? Going to make that 1.26 because it rounds up. It has to round that to fit this into what you've asked for, which is a .2 field. All right. Can you put a number that doesn't have a .2s? Yeah. You remember this is, you want a 5 to 5 digits. That's a fine number. FilePro will not molest your number if it can help it. But if it can help it, if you can put a space there, FilePro will, let's do this, if it can do it, FilePro will put as much as it possibly can fit. In this case, I can fit up to at least 1. He's okay with that. He wants 2 if he can get them. So let me put a space here and hit this. That will provide 2. Will it provide 3? No. It always tries to give you exactly what you want. .2 is this case. It will try and do it as much as it can. Again, if I put in a negative number, will it take this? Sure. That's a fine negative number. Let's try this. 9999. Enter. That's a fine negative number. Will it take a negative 0.99? Let's try 6 and watch what happens. Rounds that right up. And then rounds it correctly too. If I put a minus 9, let's put a minus 0.92, and now put a 6 here. We're going to get rounded. Okay, now remember, we're rounding upwards in a negative way. That may not be what you want, but you have to just be aware of how regular numbers are rounded when they are rounded by most applications in the world round in this way. All right, so to go on very quickly, if I pick or design a FilePro field that has a certain number of decimal points and I always want to see them, then I better put enough characters that I can get what I want. If I want to put a number like 123.4.22, that's going to fit. So this is, if I want a number that's going to be able to go to 9999.99, I better have the right number of decimal points. Because as soon as I put 99999.5, that's when I'm going to start getting numbers that don't look the way I want. And if I put numbers indeed too high, like if I put 99999.6, okay, well, I meant to put a, hold on, I meant to do this, 99999, and then a point. That's going to change and not have it look the way I want. Didn't add the decimal points because it can't do it in any meaningful way. FilePro would never show you 9999. Well, it won't leave a point just by itself. It won't ever leave a point because you're saying to it you want 2 decimal points or nothing. And actually, when I showed you that it does the 0, if you do a 5-digit or any kind of digit and it add a 0 for you, well, there's no edit type called that, but a dot 2, if you put 5 digits and then you put a number that's big enough to hold 1 decimal point, FilePro will do that because that's okay. But 9999 point is not okay. That makes no sense. You can have at least some decimal points. The numbers are very important. Why are they numbers? Why is it a system edit? Because FilePro knows how to multiply them, divide them. It operates on them, and it can give you legitimate answers. Are there any other system type edits? Well, sure, there are tons of them. Let me see. I'm going to press home here and F10. If we look at, well, I didn't get help here. I was trying to show you the FilePro help here for the edit types. But if I go back into the to find files, and I go to any file, okay, and I press update, and I look at, and I go to the type field with my cursor, and then I press F10. I'm going to get a list of all the edits that are really available, and these will show you system edits too. You'll notice that we were playing with .0 and .1, .2 to show you all the ones all the way up, and then it will show you commas. And you're allowed to have comma 5s and 6s and 7s and stuff like that. This, you can't tell from this which are system edits that have special types associated to them, but you can tell by going into define edits and looking and seeing if you see it here. If it's not here, it's a system edit. For instance, so these comma zeros is very important. If I put a comma 0, what does that mean? That means I want a decimal point, but I'm more interested in it being a whole number with commas. Okay, it means let me put it this way. It means I want commas. If I put 100 or 1,000 in here, FilePro is going to no, sorry about that. I meant if I put a that was a silly thing to do. I'm going to do this better. If I test, and I test a comma 0 field, and I test it for, say, 5 characters. Now here I'm going to put it, now it's 5 characters, I'm going to put in a 1,000, okay? FilePro will allow that, but it will put a comma for you, okay? Let's put a bigger number here so we see what we're really talking about. Comma 0, let's put it for 10 characters, okay? Now if I put a 1, and I'll put a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This should turn it into 1,000,000 with the trouble. See, I was putting the commas. And let me do this though. If I put in a, clear this, and I put in a 1, 1, 2, 3, 0.55, what's it going to do with this? Okay, it's going to round, it's going to try and put commas for you and round that up. That's exactly the kind of thing that you have to be very aware of. If you put a comma .0 and you can afford, even if you put numbers, it's telling this FilePro application, I do not want decimal points. 1.23, I always want whole numbers. I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? I want to get my whole numbers in here. And again, FilePro operates in a very sane way. If it can't put a comma, it won't. If it can, but it will. Now let's do a test of a comma 2 edit. Comma 2 means I want 2 decimal points. I don't want 0 decimal points. I want 2, but I also want you to try and put numbers in there. So let's put in 1,000,000 there. Let's see what happens. Okay, that passed, but FilePro provided those .2s, and it also provided commas. It says, give me commas first. Let's put in a just 1,000. Okay, give me the commas first, supply the decimal points. But on a huge number like this, can I put 999999999 and one more 9? Yeah, again, it's FilePro's going to say, no, you don't have, I can't fit any commas in here. There's something wrong. Okay, let's do this one. Yeah, this one I can sort of say, nope, can't I fit any commas? Can I fit any and get some decimal points in here? No, I can't. Let's try this one. How big a number can we fit in here? That we passed on. FilePro is able to put all the commas. In other words, it's going to try and molest your number as least possible, as little as possible. Comma fields are very, very useful. Sometimes you want to put money. If you have a lot of money and in the field and you have some decimal points, FilePro just make it look nicer with the proper commas. So it's very good for money, large money, and you want to make it look a certain way. Are there any other system edits? Well, of course, there's the date edits. We know there are date types. The thing about a date type, it takes as many characters as it'll fit. Like this will take 04/05/06. That's a fine. That's a good edit. It passed the edit. Will this take this? Will this take 12, month 12? Well, of course. Will it take month 13? Absolutely not. Will not let you put bad date edit in. This is a date, a system type date field. In other words, the type is date type. It only allows dates in the field. Just like money, or numeric rather, numeric fields, anything starting with a period or a 0, or a period or a comma, or there's the F type field. This is a floating point field. I can put it, let's put it 8. This is another numeric field, only takes numbers. Just like a date only takes dates. You're allowed to put anything but dates in there, won't go in. This will only take any number you want to put, 1.2, 3, 4, 5. This will take that just fine because it lets the period a period float anywhere. It's a floating point. Let's say I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point. It'll take that number. Will it take a 9 point? Yeah, it'll take that. No, it won't take a 9 point, and then it's only allowing 8 characters. So let me do this again. If I clear this out and I put 9999999, let's see, that passes because that's a fine number to put this as much as you can. Can I put a 9 point? Yes. Okay. Now, if I clear that field and I try and put a point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, what does it do? That's fine, takes it. All right. Floating point, also math. You can do math on it. There's another type of edit. The time edit will only take time. If you press T and you say you want the time edit, and you put 8 characters, it's only going to take good times. All right, and so if I put in a 25, there's no hour 25. It's going to fail the edit. The other system type edits, I think we pretty much hit all of them. There's numeric edits, date edits, and time edits, and that's it. Those are the system type edits. They're all different kinds of them, but those are the ones that FilePro supplies and does certain things with them. There's a text type edit, up, low, up, and all. Those are special type system text edits that FilePro's provided, which means they only take text and they'll do certain things to it, but they're not quite as important as knowing about the numeric edits and the date type edits. They're very special. You cannot build a numeric edit as a user edit. You cannot build a date edit. Only FilePro can build edits that have a certain type of data in them. All of your edits will be what's called alphanumeric edits, and you can do one heck of a lot with them, and I'll show you that in the very next lesson.